Welcome to Midlife Unlimited Live for Five. I'm your host, Kate Porter, the Midlife Metamorphosis Coach, and I'm delighted to be joined by my episode 51 whoop, whoop, coach, even guest. I'm so excited. Caroline Nield, actor and career clarity coach, to give a taste of our episode that's so powerful, so many golden nuggets. How to reignite your career over 40 as a midlife woman. And men, there are tips for you as well. So welcome, Caroline. It's fabulous to have you here.
Hello, Kate. It's so brilliant to be here with you.
Now, to say, obviously, I'm all about midlife metamorphosis, career
Mm,
change. I mean, there's quite an eye-opening stat that we found that one
mm,
third of women aged 45 to 54 are predicted to change career again before they retire. So
mm,
you're all about helping find the clarity in what can be overwhelming, daunting,
mhm.
can't it?
Yeah, exactly. And that's it. At this time of life, we're already going through quite a lot of changes, and you can have all
Yes.
sorts of reasons that come up, like, redundancy, moving, relocating, health issues, all sorts of things, So changing career amongst that, it can be quite a feat, definitely.
Absolutely. And we've got the right in the UK, wherever you're watching, but in the UK where we're both based,
Mm,
rising pension age is,
mm,
rising the state pension. We're actually living longer, all being well. So
mm,
again, it's something that is worth talking about, definitely. And Midlife Unlimited, we're all about having those conversations. Now, obviously, our episode is available now, I forgot to say, wherever you listen to your podcast, and it's packed with brilliant advice. But one thing I would like to dig a bit deeper into
okay.
that we
Mhm.
didn't actually talk about that much, I can't believe it, in our audio episode.
Okay.
So you're in for a treat, viewers. Caroline is all about midlife being a fabulous time to actually listen to those whispers that have been going on. And you are that
Mhm.
personified, aren't you? Because you had a dream that you put on that back burner, didn't you?
I did indeed. I did indeed. So, when I was younger and growing up, I always really loved performing and storytelling and all that sort of thing. I did a bit of amateur theatre in my 20s as well. And as I kind of got older, had my, got married, had my kids, I kind of put that all to one side.
Yeah.
And then I think I did sort of talk about this on the podcast, the kind of pivotal moment. But there was a moment where my daughter I was taking her to weekly drama classes, and she had this opportunity to perform in the West End, which was absolutely brilliant. You can imagine, it's amazing. And as I was sitting there watching her, I just thought, you know what, I really would love to be doing this. And it kind
Yeah.
of brought back all the memories to me, and I just thought, oh, you know what, I should really,
You
try
want to
it.
be up on the, which theatre was it?
Oh gosh, now you're testing me because I can't remember which theatre it was. It
We'll
was,
find out.
it,
We'll put it in the comments. But
yeah, yeah.
that
I'm
really
sure it was
was
close
your
to Piccadilly
shove, wasn't
Circus,
it?
but it was, yeah, yeah. It was, but even when I had that moment, I didn't really take action straight away. It was still probably a good few years later before I actually did anything about it. And then I sort of went and I, signed up for some acting classes. Um, and then, sort of went from there and sort of gradually just sort of built things from that moment, really.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. Now, obviously, later on, and in the show notes for our episode
Mm,
as well, are details of how viewers can get in contact with you.
mm.
But I want to know again. We were so busy chatting about so many things in in our full length audio episode. Where can people actually go and view you in your films? And you've just been filming yesterday, I understand. So what's the latest project?
Well, I'm not sure how much I'm allowed to say because it's a,
Oh,
but it's a, it was a short film actually, a really lovely, very emotional sort of project. I mean, I had a very small role in it actually, but there was two sort of main characters who are in a very sort of difficult situation. It's based in a hospital, and I was playing a sort of senior nurse who's there to sort of, support them. And so I probably can't say much more than that, because I don't know, they want me to say anything about it, so
No,
that's
no, no,
probably
no.
all I
Well,
can
watch
say.
this space
But watch this
when people
space. That will
connect with you.
probably
You'll
be,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, that probably won't be out until next year. But in terms of projects that are available at the moment, there's a lovely. Well, I say lovely. It might be a little bit. It's a bit creepy, actually. It's a sci-fi horror.
Oh, very timely.
I know, coming up to
Perfect
Halloween.
for
Yes, so
October.
yeah, yes, definitely. And in that, I play a mum who is having a very bad day. She is. There's some very creepy sort of people around in her council estate where she lives with her daughter, and it's rather unsettling. But it is available on YouTube.
What's it called?
It's called Yellow Meads. Yellow Meads. I can give you the details so you can maybe pop a link
We'll
into the.
pop the link. Yeah, if
Yeah,
we haven't got the links there already, we'll make sure they're in the show notes.
yeah, but it's doing so well. It's got about over 50,000 views on YouTube, so it's
Good.
quite popular.
That's amazing.
Mm.
But obviously, that is one string to your rather fabulous bow. But
Oh, thank you.
career clarity coach is
Mm,
another. And you've actually
mm,
devised this really, I love logical step by step. And
mm,
in terms of clarity, you do exactly what you say on the tin, don't you? You take your customers, I want to say, your clients through a
mm.
clear process.
That's correct. Yeah, and it's all based on my journey. Really, it's the things that
Mm.
kind of I went through when I started my acting, because when I first started doing it, I didn't feel comfortable at all. I felt like I didn't belong. I felt, I was too old to be doing this. I had all that kind of going on in terms
And
of,
that's so
imposter
relevant
syndrome.
for women like us now, isn't it? That
Yeah,
whole idea of what have I got to give? I'm past it. I'm invisible.
yeah,
It's too
yeah.
late.
Mm,
Oh, but
mm.
it isn't. It
No, it
isn't. It's
isn't.
just a
It isn't.
matter
It
of
definitely isn't. Yeah. And what
figuring
I
out what you need as well. Yeah.
Mm, exactly. And what I came up with was a bit of a framework where, and I actually called it stage after, being on stage and that sort of thing.
Mm,
But it's sort of really starting off with thinking about yourself,
yeah.
and really kind of tuning into, what do I really want? What are, like you say, the dreams that may have been whispering to you,
Mm,
or just even thinking about, are you even in the right career path, the right job for you? What would better reflect who you are as a person, and really reconnecting with who you are,
mm,
and not thinking about, your roles and responsibilities, but who you are at the core. And that's where the starting point is. And then the next stage is the thoughts, the sort of inner voice that will come up for you when you start thinking about, what you want to do, which happened to me.
mm.
There was definitely a point where I couldn't even tell people what I was doing, because I'd felt so sort of like, oh, people will judge me, or they'll think, what are you doing? You're in your 40s, you shouldn't be sort of.
Who does she think she is taking to the
Exactly,
stage?
exactly,
For
exactly.
goodness sake, she's playing. She's playing at it. She's not serious.
Yeah,
It won't last.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. All that kind of thing. And then really sort of thinking about, once you kind of work out what you sort of, you do that sort of rediscovery process, it's then about thinking, what is the best aligned move for you?
Mm,
What is the thing that is truly going to light you up? And thinking about your values, your strengths, things that you've enjoyed over the years. There are so many sometimes clues and themes and things that you think, okay,
yeah.
like I say, for me, it was my creativity and storytelling. It's always been a big part of my life, and that is, ended up what I've sort of started to do.
Yeah.
And then once you know where you're going, it's about then taking those brave steps and really moving forward to grow. you know so, and in the end, what you end up with is the last letter in the stage, which is E, for embodiment, where you actually become who you were always meant to be, which I
I
think is
love that. It
lovely,
gives me goosebumps. It gives me
powerful.
goosebumps because I can see so much of your passion, and
Mm,
that's exactly what I'm about. I'm very much you can't teach what you haven't been through yourself. I think you need
yeah,
to bring that element of personal experience because it makes it real, and
Mm.
it embodies, literally it embodies the whole process.
Yes,
So
yeah.
obviously I'd say all your contact details are in the show notes and on the Midlife Unlimited podcast website, where you can also find
Yes.
details of my coaching,
Mhm.
and Pop Your Podcast Cherry, my new school
Mm.
community, which I'll mention again in a minute. But can you just talk viewers through how they can get in contact with you as well, and
Okay,
anything you've got
so
coming up?
yeah, so I am on the usual sort of platforms, obviously LinkedIn here, and on Instagram, Facebook, all under my name, so you can quite easily find me. I don't think there's many Caroline Nields out there, so it's always easy to find me. Um, and yeah, that's the best places to sort of reach out to me. In terms of what I've got coming up at the moment, well, I mean, I actually had something just that I did just last week. Actually, I did my first in-person event, which was amazing. And so I held that. It was a free event. It was in Manchester. Had a friend of mine who's an events organizer who helped me sort of put it all together. And it was a lovely sort of really inspiring and uplifting day.
Oh, superb.
It was wonderful. Yeah, it was just, I shared a little bit about my journey, a bit about the stage system that we've talked about already. And then we did some interactive exercises, and we also had some other people speaking. So we had a breathwork coach and expert speaking. We had a lady who is an acrylic artist who was talking about self-care through art.
Oh,
And
wow, yeah.
then yeah, and then we had a little bit of self-care, and we had a little bit of a meditation as well with some lovely beautiful products from Temple Spa,
Oh,
and it was
lovely.
really nice. And then I did some interactive exercises at the end, and actually one of those was it's the personality preferences
Mm,
style exercise, where you look at, what are your kind of natural inclination in terms of your character style.
hmm
And it's something that's based on something called DISC. I don't know if you've ever heard of DISC. It's
no, no. Obviously, I've heard of the young character personality traits, but not this.
mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so DISC is it's a personality preference assessment, but I've kind of given my own little spin on it and created some different sort of character
Why not?
names. Well, why not exactly? So you end up sort of, once you sort of we did sort of a mini exercise based on that, where people could find out what their style there are. But one thing I have got coming up is that if you want to go deeper, I've got a free quiz that I'm going to be launching fairly soon, where people can actually go through there's a series of questions that they answer,
Oh,
and
excellent.
they'll
Well,
actually then give them a
I'll make sure I add the link to that to the show notes then,
yeah,
and to your guest profile.
yeah,
Superb.
yeah,
Superb. Oh,
yeah,
I do love a quiz. I do love a quiz. Um,
yeah.
And yeah, I mentioned briefly just now, viewers, Pop Your Podcast Cherry, which is my
Mm.
school community that is now free to join for anyone who's a nervous wannabe podcast guest or procrastinating about launching your podcast. So head over to there on the school SKOOL platform, Pop Your Podcast Cherry. This light is really annoying me on my glasses. Um,
Oh, no worries, it's all right.
my little halo. But I really love our episode. Go and check it out, people, wherever
Mm,
you listen to your podcasts. Thank you for joining me live to give a little taste, and to celebrate us, really, to celebrate
yeah.
igniting those dreams and
Mm,
going for it, finding our can, adding the yet. You've
mm.
been an absolute joy. Thank you for watching. Here's to living Midlife Unlimited. Thanks, Caroline.
Thank you, Kate.